All right. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Investor's Guide to Memphis Real Estate. My name is Dean Harris. This is Douglas Skipworth. How are you?
Hey, man. Doing great.
Good morning. We are bringing you this podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis. All of our information is below there. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. And I want to let you know, guys, that I am helping buyers and sellers every day. If you have anything you need to list and sell, call me. I'll give you a free evaluation. And if you're a buyer and you haven't joined our team, please send me an email. I'll invite you into our weekly Zoom call, get you acclimated with the team, and get you some info to get started. Okay, today we're going to talk about, Douglas, have you wasted this recession? Have you wasted it? And have you guys wasted it? We had a podcast 4 months ago on have you wasted it? Or,
this is the
don't
opportunity.
Waste the recession.
Don't waste this opportunity.
Yeah. Now we're going to kind of question you and put you on the test here and see if you have done anything to change your business. This is part of kind of a follow-up from that other podcast. And I believe it was good content. I mean, this isn't going to be new content, but it is going to be kind of a check your systems and hey, go back to and see if you've done any of this. So the first thing you might ask yourself if you're wanting to find out if you've wasted this recession is, have you kept the course searching for houses? That's the most simple one, right? Are you still actively looking, searching, trying to source? Making offers and investment deals, staying active. You might not have bought anything. I've got some guys here that haven't, in the last few months, they're staying active and they just hadn't been able to land anything.
Yes.
But as I've told the people on the Zoom call, last month we had 28 closings, so that there's 28 people that bought houses.
And we've talked about this.
Is the same.
We talked about this. Mart just put out their April data, and inventory ticked up a little bit. Sales price was a little higher.
Mar is
Memphis Association of Realtors. They do all the MLS data, and they source all the non-MLS data as well, and they put it out there. So inventory's up a slight bit. Again, historically very low.
Yep.
And so sales prices have not declined.
Nope.
They're
probably not going too much.
They're a little bit up, but I mean they're pretty flat.
Yeah.
Number of transactions is down. We've talked about that on and on and on.
That's the recession.
That's the recession. That was the big recession. That was the big crash. Mm-hmm. And there's still 50 deals a day. So to your point, brokerage, y'all are doing 30 deals a month. There are 50 deals a day happening. Corlind, sponsor of the show, they're doing deals all day, every day.
Having their best months.
So
that should tell you a lot. Next podcast we're doing is going to be on how to use that money.
And you work closely with wholesalers.
Yep.
You know some wholesalers who have had the best month they ever had in March. Beat it again in April. Already set to beat it in May. So deals are getting done. So
I think that's important.
That's very important.
I work with a wholesaler who sends us deals a lot. And, from my conversations with him, let's see, January, February, March was a record month for him.
Yes.
April was a record month on top of that. A new record. May was a new record.
Is set up to be a new record.
Yeah, he's going to
beat it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm saying. And Corlind's doing that, and brokerage is having months that mirror other months from better days. So there's stuff happening. We talk about it. The window of opportunity is 100% always open.
Yes.
Sometimes it's open wide. Sometimes it's a little more narrow.
Yeah.
It's a little more narrow, but there's opportunities.
If you look.
Yes. You got to look.
To search.
And I thought I know you have seen the inside of a casino before.
I have.
That says it kindly. And so we talk about action bets and prime bets.
Yeah.
Action bets are just warm up. They're just to keep you loose, keep you at the table, keep you in the game.
Yeah.
That's what everybody should be doing all the time. And then you've got your prime bets, right? That's when the pitch is coming down, to mix metaphors. That's when the pitch is coming down.
That's
and
right.
that's the one you swing at. So
the one bet you've been waiting.
The one bet you've been, but you gotta stay in the game. You gotta have action bets. You gotta stay at the table.
Because if you just come up and make that one big action bet, man, you're betting on a whim. You're really betting. There's no feel.
You don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on. It's like not paying attention to the NFL and then on week 8 coming and making your largest bet you've ever made on a team. Like, what? So That's a great analogy.
Yes.
I mean, staying involved and shooting some offers here, even if hey, this isn't going to work.
I've told you guys contingency.
I've told them 20 times, all my buyers, we will write up as many offers as you have. I have a team to do it. It is no pressure on me to write up an offer and submit it for you. If it's 50 cents on the dollar, I mean, come on, this isn't going to work right now. But if you need a little less to try to make it work and you're worried that in the past, don't let that past experience keep you from throwing in an offer that's 10% low. I mean, $150,000 house. If somebody came in at 135 right now, 2 years ago, I'm laughing and throwing it out. Right now, I'm submitting it. It's going, hey, let's hope this works. Like, hey, Mr. Seller, this is something you might want to see the different mentality of just a 10% swing. So yes, keep firing offers.
And that's a great point. Cause I had this, the good book says, ask and you shall receive.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to make offers out there. And you and I know, I had a property we recently closed, had a couple offers that were low. I didn't like. It needed some rehab. It was one that I was eliminating from the portfolio.
That's right.
I didn't like those offers. I met with a young person who was getting in the business. They had an agent in town who helps them do stuff. And I said, you know what, young man, I'd like to help you.
Okay.
I've had 2 really low offers. I will not be offended. As low as you want to go, and you in your situation, I want to help you.
Yeah.
Bring me in an offer
and see.
And I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't sign it and say go fill in whatever you want, but that's what I said. That's what I said that, and he never showed up.
What?
Never came back. Ask and you shall receive. Make offers. You never know. You never know.
That's so painful.
It hurt. It hurt my soul.
That is so painful.
You can't help people who don't want to be helped.
Do you need someone else to make an offer on?
We closed it, remember? Because then I said, hey, and guess what? I said, hey, I've had 2 low offers. If you offer me a little more, I'll take it. And we did it.
Yeah.
But with that person, I was like, you could offer me less and I'd take it to help you. To help you, bro.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. Anyway. Unless you're finding out, you never know what you can get.
And that's what you just said. You said you never know. But you got to make an offer.
Have to stay in the game. Number 2, have you used this time to educate yourself? We've talked about this too. We've talked about this, guys. Educate yourself on your market, the products, strategies. I'm having more phone conversations now. That's why I went to the Zoom. I went to the Zoom call so we could start answering way more of these types of questions so you can continue to offer about our market, the different products that are selling right now. I tell on that Zoom call, every single time I start off with a quick 2-minute market update. How many contracts we wrote that week, how many we got under contract, and how many I'm scheduled to close. I mean, like, it's all out there. We talk about strategies, the BRRRR. We talk about different products, what's selling out there. Guys, you need to educate yourself. You need to continue to have your thumb on the market, have your thumb in that area. And by education, I also mean, too, not just your market, but your mind. I mean, books to read to know, podcasts to listen to. Believe it or not, you guys might think that this is the only real estate podcast on the planet. I know that I do. I think it's the only one. Right. But there is another one. There's Bigger Pockets has a podcast that they don't teach you about Memphis, but they teach you about investing in general. Yes. And there's a lot of knowledge to be learned there. So, believe it or not, there are 2 real estate podcasts that you can check out. So, but I guess the education is what I'm focusing on.
You're exactly right. Because you said, what are you doing to educate yourself right now? Podcasts. What are we doing to help educate?
Yeah.
Right. We've gone weekly with this show.
Yeah.
We want to give more.
I think that's something good to announce.
We want to give more.
Yeah.
And we're doing daily drops so that there's always information going out there to the community, to you, the listener, to learn. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, we want to get that education out there. You've started 2 Zoom calls a week.
2 a week. Tuesday for our new guys and Thursdays at 2:00 for our more experienced investors. So, I'm trying to get more information.
You're trying to get more education out there to people. CoreLand, who's the sponsor of the show, they're doing a monthly event. Yeah. They hosted an event just the other day that was cram-packed with the listeners were there at the meeting. Right. I mean, it was great. Yeah. Several.
We got 25 people show up at that?
30-something, 30
that's
plus.
Fantastic.
So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So all that to say, there's opportunity to educate yourself right now. And you mentioned Bigger Pockets, which get a ton of referrals and clients and prospects and people we're working with from Bigger Pockets. So
great place to get some education.
dive deep.
If you want to come specific, I like our podcast from Memphis. But yes,
all
of the
but just the forums. I mean, you and I are active on the forums. We're meeting people. We're sharing information. So
it's a great way to
educate yourself. This is such a great time to do that.
That's right. Number 3, oh my goodness.
How's your communication gone with you? I think you're asking a great question here.
Yeah. How has the communication gone with your bank?
I mean, that's like, how has your communication gone with the bank? You have said, if anything I've learned from you is how to nurture and maintain and develop, but nurture and maintain relationships and develop relationships. And that's what this question is about with your lender. If you have a banker, a long-term lender, cultivate that relationship. So that's what you're asking. How has that been going?
Yeah. So ask yourself right now, if you're a big follower of me and the program and all that, ask yourself now, how's it going? Some of you, I bet, are sitting there going, dang, I hadn't even called him. I tell you, it isn't good. You need to call your banker and make sure that he's aware of what you're doing. And if it's nothing, that's fine. I wouldn't tell my banker I'm not doing anything though. I mean, he's not interested in that, but tell him what you're doing.
What you're seeing, what you're doing. How's your portfolio
I'm not
performing?
buying now because of, or I'm choosing to buy now because of, or whatever it may be. I have talked to my bankers this year.
That's what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
I have gone to lunch with all of them.
Yep.
It's 3. I have had calls. I had 2 calls in January. I had some in February. I did not have many in March. I had one with all of them in April because some things I'm doing, and I haven't had anything this month. There's probably 12 to 13 connections with my 3 bankers this year.
Okay, guys, I was going to say, and you said what I was going to ask is how frequently would you recommend?
Yeah.
I think I heard you say minimum of quarterly, probably every month.
If you have over 50 houses, I would do monthly. I would communicate monthly, maybe a little more. If you're under 25, I think a quarterly check-in is fine. Anything in between there, 25 and 50, I would say 6 weeks or anything you decided is fine. If you're under 25, I think you're okay.
With the quarterly.
Quarterly. Yeah. If you're 50 and over, I think monthly you ought to be just maintaining some line of communication.
Some line of
25 between 50, I think any variation of any of that is fine. So there's an idea of what I think you should be communicating and talking to your banker. I mean, they aren't doing anything. Believe me, you brother, they got time. They got time in that office to talk to you. I'm just kidding. But they do have bankers hours, and if you set up some time to speak with them, I've never met a guy that said, "No, man, I'm really slammed. You can't come in here." They'll have you in. So just checking them.
They are being a little more cautious right now. So they like to. They are nurturing their current relationships as opposed to try and develop a lot of new relationships.
Big time. So yes, please keep in touch with your bankers. Number 4, have you checked in on your team? Have you talked to your team? If you're curious what a team is, we've done Build Your Team. We're probably going to do that here again in the next month or 2. But have you talked to your accountant? Have you spoken to that guy? I mean, this time of year, you probably have. Have you talked to your contractors and just reached out to see what they're seeing? Yeah. By the way, those folks, the contractors, see more than anybody. They're in the field all day long. Maybe they got some good intel for you. Have you talked to your property manager? Have you gone over anything with them that might be concerning, or you want to get better, or is a great job and you want to do more of that? Have you anything? Yeah. Ask yourself these questions, and if they're no to a lot of these questions I'm asking you, I think you have some work to do. Mm-hmm. I think there's some things you need to do to kind of bring yourself back up to speed with your business.
Because this is an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Everything happens as an opportunity. It's how you react. Yes. It's how you respond. So this is a chance to do that. Do on your team, it's similar to that with the bankers, frequency of talking to people, insurance, at least semi-annually, annually.
I would communicate with your insurance agent twice a year.
Yeah.
And then look, I make sure that you're getting the best rates.
Yeah.
I don't suggest shopping your rental insurance annually.
Okay.
But maybe every 3 years.
Yeah.
Make sure because I know a lot of you guys are doing your car insurance and your home insurance. You might do that annually, right? Yeah. At least do this, every 2 years, maybe every 3 years. Just make sure that you're getting
competitive
the same
and getting service. Yep.
And you're staying competitive with whatever else is out there. So the insurance company, your contractor, if you kept up with him quarterly, if you have nothing going and you kept up with him quarterly, hey, what are you seeing? What's going on? I think that's appropriate. If you've got a rehab going, the proper, whatever this proper would be my suggestion there, weekly or whatever, whatever that guy sets up or gal sets up with you. Who else are we leaving out?
Title, get your agents and who you're working with, your accountants.
They probably don't have, the title company probably don't have any different info for you.
How about your real estate agent?
I would be communicating with them weekly.
Okay.
I would some type of, if you're one of my clients,
getting deals from them or tuning into a podcast
I think that counts as a connection.
Yeah.
I think that counts. If you're on the podcast or if you're receiving
Zoom call?
emails, I'm sorry. If you're on the Zoom call or if you're receiving emails from me and we're communicating about deals, then I think that's your connection.
Good.
If you've gone months and we haven't connected, but you're listening, reach out. Let's see what's up. I mean, there might be a pathway for you to get into this that you're waiting on and you don't know that it's here right now, right? So if you are sitting there listening or if you are sitting there and you've never contacted me, right? That's the beauty about this podcast. I have no idea who's listening to this, right? You could be anywhere in the world. You can be anywhere in our country. You can be anywhere listening to this podcast. So feel free to reach out. Dean at CrestCore.com. We can connect. It's just, you need to stay as we're wrapping up this one, the main thing to do and the takeaway from this is to stay involved, stay in communication, stay alive. Because here's the thing, and this is not like riding a bike. If you tune off of this for 6 months, you're going to have to come back in and re-educate yourself on probably 80% of what's going on. You're going to have the basic fundamentals of, let's buy it. You'll have all that. But the actual market conditions, specific locations that you're looking at, I think you need to be more in tune, because if you vamp for 6 months, yes, you can catch back up. But I think it takes you 30 days to really get back into it again. So if it's me, it costs you nothing to do this today. That's the biggest, right? This costs nothing.
Little time.
What I've advised you to do today cost nothing. You can do all of it. And if you don't think it's beneficial to you, then you're dead wrong. I'm just here to tell you, you're dead wrong if none of this matters to you. You're setting yourself up for failure, because you're not going to have the relationships with these 4 that you want. That's it.
Yeah, that's good.
You're just not going to have it.
Yeah,
and I don't, we preach a whole lot of fluff in here, and I don't normally come in and kind of aggressively get after people.
Right. That's right. Right.
Maybe we
present
should
it. I don't think we preach fluff. I think we present it in a fluffy way, or a nice way, and we're not an up in your face, do this or you're going to get left behind. No. Do this and you're not doing it right.
Because I believe there's other ways to be successful. That's what I like about real estate.
That's true.
There is no real proven path, and that's the only way that
only
works.
Way. Yes, I agree with that.
So I hate to use absolutes. You taught me that specifically. I hate using absolutes that if you don't do this, it won't happen. But here's what I am saying. Just like we bet on percentages in neighborhoods and tradition, are they consistently well? Same thing here. If you're not doing these things, I'm not going to sit here and say no chance you can't be successful. What I am telling you for a fact is it's going to be a much harder than the next guy. The next guy's going to have these relationships. Things are going to run smoother. He's going to be more familiar. You can't tell me.
You can't show up on Friday night to play the game
and not practice.
When the other guy, like you just said, the other guy is drilling all week long, watching film, running over the plays. They're eating, breathing,
he is eventually
sleeping.
Going to lap you, even if you're more talented. It's just going to happen that way because you're not putting in the time and the effort. Same thing with here. Yeah. If you got two investors side by side, equal incomes and abilities and tools to use, the guy that works hard every day and learns is going to far and away perform the other guy. Yeah. It's just simple.
It's just if you want it, it is here.
I love that.
If you want it, it is here. Yeah. To come get it. And I just a last point. You talked about mindset as what are you doing to educate yourself? One thing I've done is tried to unpack some of my limiting beliefs during this time. And one I had is it's too late. Yeah, this is a big year for me, man. I'm hitting
cylinders.
And I'm hitting 5-0.
That's great.
I'm hitting 5-0 this year.
Yeah.
Age.
Yeah. Oh, 50. Oh, I got
50
you. I
years old. No,
like
I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'll be 50, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking, I'm like, oh, it's too late. I'm 50. It's too late. And I'm like, no. Now is the time.
Yeah.
That changing that limit and be to now is the time. So it's like, now is the time, right? Like if you haven't been doing these things during this recession and you haven't done them and they answered no, It's okay. Now's the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time to go and do these things that we just talked about.
Because by the way, you could do all this in a week.
Yes.
I'm not sitting here. This isn't months of work, I'm telling you.
No.
You could catch back up with this stuff in a week. You could get on your education stuff. And in 2 weeks, you could probably feel like you're right back in it. So,
and then just maintain.
That's
Maintenance mode is so much easier.
That's right. That's right.
So
good stuff today. I
great
hope you guys
show.
enjoyed this one and haven't wasted your recession. So
Huge
these are
opportunity.
things you might have already known about, but I'm telling you, keeping up with this path of communication and this path of the podcast, to me, I'm giving you guys things that I'm hearing. So whatever I'm hearing from clients and whatever I'm learning from you guys as far as what you want from info is what we're talking about. Next podcast, we're going to talk about how to use hard money in this market. So stay tuned for that in the next week or so. One thing to announce that I'll say before we go.
Good.
We're doing the podcast now weekly. We were doing it every 2 weeks, dripping some information out about it. But we are going to get a little bit more aggressive on getting you some content. So there's going to be a podcast every week. There's also, I want to encourage you to check out all of our social media platforms, like everything, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or not Snap, but TikTok is the other one, Facebook. So we're going to be posting
YouTube.
shorts and reels and different videos on there. So please give it a like. Please comment if you have anything you want to talk about.
Subscribe it, forward
subscribe,
it, please.
Do everything you can there because this is something new.
Yes, that's right.
We've been giving this as doing this podcast as just information for our current active clients. We are now using this to actively go out and preach to anybody that wants to listen.
And we get a ton of great feedback, and we appreciate it, and we want to reciprocate that, if you will, by providing more.
Yes, that's
right?
part of
And
the
more
Zoom
value.
call. That's part of
Yes.
this. Like, I'm just trying to get your questions answered faster.
That's right.
If you have anything, Dean at CrestCore.com. Got anything else for we
That's
go?
great.
Okay, thanks guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.